All right, everyone. So welcome to today's lesson. This is part 3 of our Music Theory for Beginners series. And today we're going to talk about how chords are made. So we go over chords after scales because the chord formula comes out of the scale, okay, out of the major scale. Let's just look at these right here. We've gone over how the scales are made. Now, how the chord is made. The major chord formula is 1, 3, 5. As we talked about before with the formulas for the scales and the number formulas, not the whole half step formulas. And the number formulas, they come always from the major scale of the same key. So the 1 of A is A, obviously, right? The root. Then 3 is C sharp. So 3, and then the fifth, 135, is E. So 135, 135, you take those notes, put them here, and then that's how we make a chord. Okay. So most chords, you might be thinking that the chords there's 6 strings in a lot of chords. That's true. So in the chords where there's only 3 notes on those 6 strings, each note usually repeats twice, or one note could repeat 3 times as possible, depending. And then if you look at the minor chord, again, it comes from, see, you could see that these chords are in the scale, right? So 1, 3, 5, the major chord is in the major scale already. You don't have to do a sharp or flat or anything. The minor chord formula is 1 flat 3 5. That does not refer to this scale, the minor pentatonic, but I wanted to put it here so you can see that the minor chord has the same notes as the minor pentatonic scale. So 1 flat 3 5, flat 7 is, these are the notes in the minor pentatonic scale, 1 flat 3 4 5 flat 7, but it has 1 flat 3 5, which are the notes, the chord formula for the minor pentatonic, for the minor chord. So 1 flat 3 5. Again, 1 is A, flat 3, we have a C sharp, so flat means minus half step is C, and then E is the fifth, right? So 1 flat 3 5, A, C, E. Now this is in A minor, okay? This is an A major chord here, okay? This is an A minor chord. Now, every chord has all the different kinds of chords, as, dominant seventh chords, major 7 chords, minor 7 chords, 6 chords. There's so many, right? And all these different chords have their own formulas. Some of them have more than three notes. Not all of them have just 3 notes. Some of them may have 4. Okay, so it depends on the scale. And we're not going to, again, show all of the chord formulas here because you can know the patterns of them. Now, why is this useful, though, to know? For chords, I find it's even more useful to know the notes than for scales, and I'll show you why. And this is why. So we're going to use the minor chord, for example, right? And try not to get overwhelmed by this stuff. You don't have to think about it. Like just absorb it. Just see what you're seeing, let it in. Don't worry about memorizing anything. Doesn't matter. You can always come back to this. These classes are really short on purpose. I want it to be really clear for you. So again, this is what we used before, right? I'm using the same examples so you can see clearly. This is minor pentatonic scale again. Here's the whole half formula. Here's the number formula. Here is the minor chord formula, excuse me. Now, why is this useful? Is that, see, look, take the minor pentatonic and you have all of these notes in the minor pentatonic, right? You have the 1, the flat 3, and the 5 are all in the minor pentatonic scale. This is the minor pentatonic scale. So all of these notes are in here, right, for this chord. There's two more, the 4 and the flat 7. But this is very useful to look at the chords this way on a fretboard like this, because now what can we do with this? It's very easy to see like the couple positions, like the bar, you bar here with your finger, for a minor, right? A minor chord. You bar this with your finger, and then, and then you put like a finger here, here, okay? And so what's this doing when we do that? When you see a bar chord, just out of curiosity, right? This is an A minor bar chord would be like this, right? So these notes, see, we have the 1, the 5, and the 3. These are all in the chord, 1, 3, and 5, right? Flat 3, 5. But the G, the flat 7, and the 4 are not, see? So if you played this bar, you would have more notes scale that are not in the minor scale. That's why you put your finger here on A, which repeats this note, which is already repeated twice. So it's 3 times you're playing the A. And then the E, you cover this 4 here, the 4, which is not in it, not in the A minor, see? So that's what we're doing here by putting our finger on these two and the bar, we're blocking out these two notes and replacing them with notes that are in the scale. So there's actually 3 A notes in this position for A minor. There's 2 E's, which is the 5th of the scale, and there's only 1 C, which is the flat 3. So this is just so you could see clearly how the chords are made on the guitar and the theory behind it, why we put the fingers where we put them. But the beautiful thing about this, and it's really great to experiment if you're writing your own songs. I've written a lot of songs just looking at fretboard like this and knowing the chord formula and then looking at it and playing around with different positions of chords. Now, this is where you get so many different voicings of chords. Remember that only the 3 notes have to be in it. The 1, the flat 3, and the 5. For simplicity, let's say the yellow, the green, and the purple, okay? Just so you can see. So look, yellow, green, purple. This is a full A minor chord. Look at that. If you come over here, we said yellow, purple, and green. You can just play these 3 notes right here. That's a full C chord. You can add in this finger if you want to and just play that, right? You can find so many triads, which are 3 notes on 3 different strings, double stops, so many ways to do this. Like so the possibilities are endless. So you could play these 3 notes and come back here and put your finger here on this C, right? So you'd have 2 C's. You can mute this string with your finger and have an E and an A. You can come over here, you can play E, A, C, right? So this would be a chord right here. C, A, E. That would be a minor chord. You can come up here, E, C, A, one of my favorite positions, right? This, like this, these 3 across here. It repeats again, right? Because it's down here, same thing. It's really nice. So you can play it there. And you can also play it up here, like back further. So you can put like finger here, here, and here. This would be an A minor, see? So right here, A minor. See, so you can see so many patterns here, so many possibilities. It's unlimited. And this is just in a minor pentatonic scale with the A minor chord. When the chords become more complex and you have 4 notes in the chord and your scale has those 4 notes in it, you can put the scale on the fretboard like this, look at it, and find all new patterns. This is how you find different voicings for the chords that sound really cool and different. And you'd be surprised sometimes how much different they sound. If you play, for example, like an A bar chord here, an A minor bar chord here, or the open A minor chord, right? You could play an open position A minor chord, which would be this one, and this one with this E open, okay? That would be an A minor, and you would play this one right here, this note right here. And actually you could play the E because that would still be in the chord. So you can play these two, and these two all together like this, and that would be an A minor chord, right? That open position A minor chord right there is going to sound a lot different than if you play this one up here, right? That's going to be the same one, but it's going to be up a whole octave. It's going to sound a lot different. Or if you play it here, that's going to sound a lot different, right? Because there's not even any deep bass strings in this. It's just these 3, right? The triad. It's going to sound a lot different than this bar chord here. Okay, it's going to sound really different than this because this is just bass notes, just these 3 bass notes. So again, you can play around with this and mess around with different positions, different voicings on the chords, and experiment, have fun with it, right? If you'd like to know more about this, you'd like to have more lessons like this, if you enjoyed this, and maybe about different chord types and different scales that other scales that chords are in, that we can look at some patterns like this, let me know and I'll make a lesson on it. All right. So until next time, I hope that was clear. If you have any questions, feel free to write me and I'll make another video explaining or get back to you. And happy practicing. I'll see you next time.